What are you going to do when hip-hop goes out?
Hip-hop is an attitude. It's right here. It's how you feel. It's a style. So it can go out.
Hello everybody, sorry for the delay. Thank you so much for your patience, really appreciate it. I was out on a run and I totally lost track of the time. Let me get in the right channel. Hey Carly.
Hi. We're gonna have to lower the music now. You're so quiet.
Oh my goodness. Alright. Is that any better?
Let's see.
Hello, hello. Oh.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I am looking totally disheveled, but that's okay. How are you doing, Carly?
I'm good. Just been sewing fake butterflies to a dress for the past 2 hours. And I have to style a wig after this.
What kind of wig?
A wig for my outfit tomorrow. Just a fashion wig. I am going to be braiding stuff into it. They're saying I'm much, much louder than you.
I have been keeping... I mean, can they hear me well? Because I can turn you down a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you. Just probably turn me down a little.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good on my end. Yeah, again, oh my goodness. Thank you everybody for waiting. You're gonna have to deal with fresh out of the shower Steve today. I hope that's okay. But yeah, I'm like trying to think of what else is going on. What else can we discuss? We talked last week about starting a movie club, and then we didn't pick a movie to watch.
Yeah, and then during my stream we talked about starting a book club as well.
Guess they're still having problems.
Yeah, you're still a little
So
quieter
quiet.
than you could be. Can you put your mic closer to your face?
It's like right in my mouth.
Oh.
Let me see here. Maybe this is... I keep, every time Windows updates, it messes with the sound settings.
Funny enough, I also showered before the stream. Not like it matters, though.
Oh, it does matter.
No one can see me.
So let's do this before we start. Let's pick a movie, and then we'll promise to watch it.
Yeah, we'll even post it to the channel I made, so everyone knows what to watch.
Yeah, let me see. We do have a channel, don't we?
Yeah, I made it so only we could post in it, technically, right now. And then I would open up the chat later once we're ready to discuss it. I just didn't want any posting in it until we chose a movie.
Gotcha. All right. I'm trying to think. I actually just watched the whole Aeon Flux animated series.
Oh. I haven't seen that.
So it was originally a 10-part miniseries during Liquid Television, which was 1991, I think. And it's a totally bizarre series. Very strange.
The art and animation is just crazy to look at. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. And the writing is really good too, though a lot of the episodes are very strange. Like, they just don't have like a clear ending. They kind of leave it wide open for interpretation, and then there isn't really a common thread between any of the episodes, which makes it really interesting. But I had a lot of fun watching that, and I binged the whole thing in like 2 nights, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. But I haven't seen the live action. I guess there's a live action one with Charlize Theron.
Yes, it's not great.
So let's not have that as our movie club movie. But I'm super tempted to see it because I'm really curious as to how they adapted it.
I mean, you might as well since you're already committed.
Yeah, I sat through all the special features on the DVDs, and yeah, it's crazy. It seems like Aeon Flux is one of those things that it was a really cool property that got the high-end movie treatment too soon. Like, it's the kind of thing that you would see coming out now, since all the movie studios...
That's a really good point.
Yeah, they're really banking on nostalgia, kind of like what we do, but in the movie side of things.
I feel as if that came out during a time where there was a lot of movies very similar to it coming out,
Mm-hmm.
where they were trying to adapt a lot of like both cartoon and comic movies before they were good at adapting comic or cartoon movies to live action.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of just below average films.
Yeah. This kind of circles back. I think a couple weeks ago we were talking about Darkman with Liam Neeson.
Oh, yes.
And that was one where it was directed by Sam Raimi, and he was originally supposed to be doing Spider-Man movie. Oh, so GTG just says, why is there's no chat on stream? Let me see if I can put that on. I just came in and I sat down and I hit go live and I didn't I forgot to yeah, why don't I have the chat thing on here? You know what? I don't even
I'm
have
not
that.
sure.
I don't even have that in my source. So let's just throw it on there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You normally do have it, I thought.
Chat box? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Oh, it's like where is it? Well, it says it's on in the top left corner. Is it showing up at all?
I don't see it.
Oh, there it is. I think I just need to make it bigger and put it somewhere else. How about right there? Yeah, that's really weird. Sorry, everybody. Here, we'll make it really big.
Oh yeah, it was really tiny, huh? It's good now, though.
I'd also like to share that, of course, after a strenuous workout, the best thing for hydration is a tall glass of beer.
Oh yeah.
And
I told them I'm gonna have a glass of wine.
it's got one of my favorite Dota characters on it. It's the Queen of Pain Poison Dagger.
Oh. Roll would love that. He has Queen of Pain as part of his Dota sleeve.
She's really cool, but I think that she's kind of fallen off right now. You have to win early game with Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I've been hearing lots of complaints about what's in the meta right now.
I'm
And that
sure
the
you
new
probably
season's
know
about to
better than
start.
I do.
I don't even play and I know everything about it.
Alright, so let's see. Do we want to just kind of start the Q&A and I'll just kind of get into what I'm gonna do today?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, so there was some news today. It's like pre-E3 news, but Other Side Entertainment's Underworld Ascendant just got a release date. Well, release time period. It's supposed to come out this September. Ooh, excuse me. And that's really interesting news. Is anyone on the stream, did anyone back that on Kickstarter? I did.
I'm reading chat and all I see right now is Darth asking for more Hopper on Zbrush. That's all he wants is Hopper.
A Hopper.
Let's see.
We're not gonna get the Hopper for a while.
Huh?
If it goes in. I mean, I guess we kind of have to do it now, don't we?
Yeah. It's like if we don't, what would happen? Darth would come to our house begging us.
Warner asks what we usually stream. So I usually stream game development. So I do some ZBrush high poly modeling. Today we're going to do some retopologizing of a high-res mesh, and then we're going to UV that mesh and include it on a sheet with the other mutant model, and we're going to hopefully do some baking. I'm not sure if that is going to be too processor intensive and like kind of kill the stream, but we'll give it a shot. See what happens.
Should be a good time. Darth has a question. Will we be able to see enemies, especially robotic workers, for example, the repair bot and Hopper, going about their business and making repairs to things in the station before they become aware of the player?
We do have some moments kind of planned out. Instead of the not the repair bot, the oh my god, I'm totally drawing a blank. The little dudes that look like that annoying guy from Power Rangers, the Servbots.
What a way to describe.
I know, and then it just pops into my head. The Servbot. I want to have a scene in the beginning where instead of the Servbots just kind of noticing you and going right after you, you see one from the back and he's kind of like working on something. You see his arms going, and then his head turns towards you, and the rest of his body comes, and his hands or his claws are covered with blood, and he was like harvesting parts from a corpse or something. We also have a new enemy type that we're gonna introduce called the Cyborg Surgeon, and it's essentially going to be a unit that is going to just be going about its business and just totally ignore the player unless you harass it or you attack it, just like the Borg from Star Trek. So there's going to be some instances of that.
I think we've shown some of the concept art for him too, right? Now that I'm trying to remember back to older Kickstarter updates.
For the Cyborg Surgeon?
Yeah, I feel like we did, right?
We may have. Yeah. I did actually start working on that a long time ago. Let me see. Yeah, let me actually see if I can dig that up. And it's a Zbrush file, so I can show it before I start working on the other thing. Kind of the state that it's in. The only reason I didn't finish it was because we were trying to figure out what the other cyborgs were going to have for like their eyepieces, and we wanted the same thing across all the different models so that it felt like they were kind of cohesive. They were all from the same family of cyborgs. Oh yeah, I do have it. ZTL. Okay, yeah, here it is. I'll just copy this to the desktop real quick. So it's not in a very, it's not complete, but there's enough of it there to get an idea of where it's going. Hopefully. I mean, it's probably going to change quite a bit, but you know, it's the way it is. Okay. Alright, so let me
There's another question I can ask you while you're pulling that up. It says, will enemies be more talkative, such as cyborgs telling us to shut under, or robots saying non-sequitur things like, can I help you, while trying to tear your face off?
I hope so. That sounds like a really good idea. Let me just load up these models, and then I'll move over to ZBrush here in just a sec. And let me see.
It's already starting to get too hot where I live. Or at least my room feels too hot.
It's been kind of chilly here lately. It actually rained last night, which was nice because it's just been too dry.
It's been raining so much here, which is very unusual. And now it's all of a sudden hot out of nowhere.
So I'm gonna start up Maya too, so that hopefully the transition can be a little seamless.
Here's another question. Will there be infighting in System Shock Remake between enemies that accidentally shoot and hit each other?
I always thought that was a cool feature. I think they even have that in the original Doom, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it would just be a matter of kind of establishing the relationship between the enemies. I would assume that the mutants and the cyborgs would be at odds with one another. So I'm going to switch over to ZBrush.
Here's another question. Will Shodan use any dynamic tactics to keep the player on their toes?
Any dynamic tactics? Probably nothing too much outside of the original. We're still kind of undecided if we want the security cameras to play a role in that. In the original, just by destroying them, you kind of lower her security rating, which will eventually enable you to get into some areas that are locked off. But in System Shock 2, if the security cameras see you for a long enough time, it causes enemies to spawn near you. And so we think that maybe having something similar to that would be really cool. So that can kind of answer that question a little bit. Alright, so this is the humanoid mutant model that was more or less finished up in between sessions. And so what we're going to do is probably do some baking tests. The good thing about this particular model is that the low res was already done. And I can show you that here. So this is subdivision level 6, and it's sitting at about 9.3 million polygons. And if we bring this down to the first subdivision level, you can see the polygonal mesh here, and right now the body's only 6,700, which is about where we would want it to be for game resolution. So the topology is really nice, lots of quads, lots of really good edge loops for animation. Normally, like with my pipeline, I will just kind of go ham and just build the high poly model, and then I'll go back and rebuild the low after. But some people are more iterative. They'll get to where they want to be with the overall silhouette, and then they'll retopologize it, bring it back into ZBrush, reproject all the detail onto that, and then continue sculpting. And that's generally a better practice because at the higher levels you can get finer detail, and that's kind of what you want. So this guy was mostly done. The only thing I did is I fixed some of the geometry behind the eyes. You can see that it's kind of all mushed up and just kind of a mess back there, and that's because I altered the original one so much that he doesn't need this geometry back there. It's just too dense. So in the Maya model, I actually deleted all this and simplified it. And then I was in the middle of doing the same thing for the inside of the mouth too. You can see that there's just way too many polys in there for an area of the model that you'll just never see. So this was pretty good. We'll touch up this a little bit, but the one thing that the one thing that that didn't get any love was the teeth. There is some lower subdivision levels here. Just one. Oops, actually that's the eyes. The teeth are pretty dense. The teeth themselves are 2.5 million polys, and subdivision level 1 is like 9,000, which is actually more than the whole character model. So again, you're not going to see this that close up, so I'm going to try to get this down to a couple hundred, and that's kind of what I'm going to do now. So what I'll do is, silhouette doesn't really change from all these different subdivision levels, so I think I'm just going to export the lowest subdivision level here. So we'll export it as a OBJ, and we'll name it humanoid underscore mutant underscore teeth underscore low. Save that out. And then Maya is already open, so I'm going to start that up. I'm going to have to add another source really quick here. Zbrush. So we'll do window capture, source. We'll name it Maya. You guys can't see this. And then we will put it there. Done. Okay. So yeah, you can see it here. And I'll just put this over ZBrush. Okay. So we're in Maya. And let's load in the teeth. So we'll import. Characters, humanoid mutant, OBJ, teeth low. Okay, import. Here they are. These beautiful teeth. I'm going to change the settings, the preferences for this scene really quick. For whatever reason, it always just defaults to centimeter, but it should be in meters. There we go. Zoom in on these beautiful teeth. There's a tongue. Pretty cool, but again, it's just too heavy. You can see there's 9,000 polys. Just too much. So there's a number of ways that you can retopologize a mesh, and basically what that means is we're going to use the silhouette of this model to rebuild the model itself using less polys, and that'll enable us to take all this detail from the higher res version in ZBrush and bake it down on a normal map so that it'll look the same, but it just won't be as heavy. There's some good programs to do this. 3D Code is really good at it. But what I like to use is this tool down here. It's called Quaddraw, and it's a semi-recent addition to Maya. There was a suite of modeling tools called Next Tools that some friends of mine back in San Diego developed, and it became so popular that Autodesk actually just acquired the company and made the tool set part of the program. So I'm going to put on my glove.
Darth's asking, do ZBrush users use a lot of clay working terms such as bake it down and sculpt?
That's a good question. Like when I'm referring to baking, I'm yeah, that's weird. The term baking for modeling is when you're projecting one mesh onto another to create a 2D texture map. But I guess that does kind of fall into the whole sculpting. Traditionally, kind of falls into that realm as well. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, a lot of the terms are very interchangeable. Okay, all right. So I think what I need to do, they changed some things. I think if I select the mesh, and then I hit quad draw. No, okay, that's not gonna work. I think I need to make a layer first. So we'll go call this teeth. And then we'll add the teeth in there, and then we will, let's see, make it a reference mesh. Maybe not, let's see. Now I should be able to This is weird. It looks like they changed some stuff. Okay, well that's good. One sec. Shift click a face. This is super weird. Usually there is a way to have the mesh. Oh, I wonder if I have to. I should have figured this out before I started the stream. Yeah, just
what happened?
Just bear with me here just for a minute. See, you can't select the mesh. There's
Darth is just like, Google it.
Well, I have the thing. You're supposed to be able to like use this mesh as a like a reference mesh, and then enter quad draw, and then you can draw polygons on top of it. Set a reference mesh. Okay, snap the quad draw tool to the mesh you want to retopologize. Drop down. Set a reference mesh. Okay. See, they change everything all the time. Okay.
Keeps you on your toes.
So I gotta make it live. Alright. There we go. Quad draw.
Here's a question. When you guys make the levels for games, aren't they mostly done in 3D modeling programs like Maya/Blender? I learned that most developers use the programs to do level design for games.
A lot of the proxy art will be done in Maya. but the level design itself will be done generally in engine. So like if you watch one of Daniel's streams, he's like blocking out the level in the engine just using BSP, which is just like a engine specific like a 3D format kind of, and then that way we can kind of create the block out of the level before we do any of the art. And once that's, you know, the level design is figured out, then we can spend resources and time on making it look really pretty. Okay, so yeah, they changed this in this version of Maya for whatever reason. And now I can start retopologizing this. And you can do that by basically placing these vertices here. And once you have 4, you can hold shift and click and it'll create a polygon on top, which is really cool. And then you can move the individual vertices to where you want. By holding control, you can add a cut. So we'll just build this out. And you can be pretty loose at this stage just to try to figure out where you want your geometry. These points over here were mistakes. Let's see if I can delete those.
What does Bob Ross say about mistakes?
What does he say?
That they're just happy little accidents.
Yeah, even the computer program's telling me to relax. Alright. So yeah, this is not a glamorous part of 3D modeling, but it's a necessity. Delete those points over there, but I don't remember how to do that. Hi, Cairo.
Oh, the doggy has arrived.
Yeah. The dog has arrived. So I think I can make this transparent. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Give it another, just to see what it looks like. And the cool thing about these teeth is that we don't need to worry really about edge loops because they're not going to be animated. They're just going to be like static. Let me see if I can. I know that there's a control shift click a single dot to remove it. Alright, so let's see if we can, oops. Let's see if we can remove these dots. I accidentally left quad draw mode here, so let me just go right back into it. Quad draw, control shift click. Yeah, there we go. Remove those dots. Alrighty. And let's put that back. And then I think we can overlay a pen mesh. Oh yeah, we can change the color of that. Let's make it. Yeah, let's make it green. Or not.
Off topic, but I keep seeing memes of this and I want to tell Daniel about it because I'm sure he's seen them too.
Yeah.
But they're making a third How to Train Your Dragon movie.
Oh yeah.
And there's a blue eyes white dragon in it. And everyone's making Yu-Gi-Oh jokes.
I sent him the movie poster as soon as I saw it. And he said that if it's like a, how did he put it? He's like if the dragons fall in love and the main character there gets jealous, he says he's gonna get mad.
I mean, duh. That's exactly what's gonna happen. But it could be cool, and they can just duel or something.
Fight for Toothless. Fight for his love.
Yeah. So romantic.
Alright. Ooh, look at that. That's not right. Okay, so... I'm gonna move this over here. Probably like that. So yeah, ideally you want your like your vertices to rest on like the highest. Oh, look at that, did it again. On the highest part of the mesh, so that when you bake it, it captures like the silhouette of the object that you're doing as well. So let's see, let's just keep going here. What the heck? Let's just hit this, see what happens. Tell these teeth to relax. And I think
Chill out.
I think that what that does is it kind of just it averages. It helps them kind of relax. So another term for this is that like we're making a cage. That's pretty gross. Can actually, yeah, we kind of want these loops to be like on top of the teeth, because those are the high points. So like that. Oops. That's kind of what we want. It's been a little while since I've done this, so it might take me a little bit to get back into the flow of things. Let's see. I'm gonna move this over here. This over here, and let's put another loop there. Somebody told me, was it John that's been playing Dota with Raul?
I don't know if they've played together recently.
Maybe it was Matt.
I have no idea.
Is it Matt Keneally?
Was he?
He's probably
I
the
don't know
only one that could
who's
play
been
with
playing.
him, like ranked.
I know John was begging Raul the other day to play with him, but Raul wanted to relax and watch anime instead.
That's funny.
But the new season's starting, so I know Raul really wants to play, but he's working extra late tonight so he can take off tomorrow to help me with my event.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
no Dota, just Lolita event. It's very kind of him.
So this looks pretty good for the top part of the teeth. Right now we are sitting at 75 polygon, so it's pretty good. Alright,
Man, I'm super salty. So at my event tomorrow, we had a couple of places vending for us, but we're doing remote vending for them.
yeah.
And there's this company in Japan called Wonderwell, and they sell a lot of secondhand brand name Lolita dresses. But there was an event in Texas recently, and they sent the package to them first, and whatever
Uh-oh.
didn't sell there would be sent to us next. And it's not here, and they were supposed to send it like 2 weeks ago. So we don't know where the clothes are.
That's not good.
I know.
I mean, is there a chance that they might not show up?
I don't even think they sent them at all, and that definitely means they're not going to be here by tomorrow. So I don't know what we're going to do with it.
So what we're gonna do here is, because we want to do the inside of the mouth as well, and the bottom teeth here are kind of in the way, I am going to just duplicate the teeth, hide one that is the original, and then I'm gonna just delete the bottom half of these teeth. So we'll go to face mode, and it doesn't have to be clean. I'll just select. Oops. Oh, okay. It's gonna be like that.
Want to go check Black Canyon? Nope.
What am I doing?
Right here in the shade.
What am I doing?
Maybe I'll go check it myself.
And just hit delete. There we go.
That's the story of your life. Ain't no action.
Again, it doesn't have to be clean, but I'm just gonna do that just to make it nice.
I'll see you later. Somebody got to be doing something bad somewhere.
And then we'll make this live. And then we'll go back into Quad Draw. And now we can get in here and be dentists. There you go. How's this moving? So we want to make sure that we capture the teeth here. Is there like a, I know this is probably a silly question, is there like a male equivalent to a Lolita outfit? Like, is there like menswear in that genre of clothing?
So kinda. There's this thing called OG, which is Prince style, and it's some guys do it, mostly girls do it actually, the OG stuff. And then there's Gothic Aristocrat, which a lot of guys do. But I know a lot of guys that also do wear Lolita fashion as well. There's this guy in Canada, I follow his Instagram account. He looks better than most girls do in Lolita fashion. It's crazy.
Leave it to the Canadians.
Yeah, he got it handled.
So there's this tricky part right here, where this gap in the teeth is. It's acting kind of funny now. Great. So for those who don't know, Maya is notoriously buggy. So I'm gonna actually exit the mode. I'm gonna save it really quick in case we get a crash. Characters. Maya, humanoid mutant, teeth, Retopo, 01. Save. I think we'll delete history on this too and go back into quadra mode. Okay. It's just picky. So, looks like we can it's kind of hard to see what's going on here. I thought, I thought that this new version had a way to change the live mesh here, but I think what I'll do is I'm gonna create a custom material. So we'll go into the hypershade, is what it's called. I know you probably can't see these windows. You need to like set up Streamlabs OBS, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new material.
It does look funny seeing your mouse moving around. That it's supposedly clicking things, but we can't see that. So it looks very random.
Okay, and so I'm gonna apply this and make it so that it's kind of like transparent, so you can kind of get a better idea of where things are. All right, I'll make this live again. Yeah, so now we can see that there's just a big mess right here. We have to patch up. And so we don't want to add another edge all the way through here, but what we can do is we can select actually probably just go right into like an edge cut mode here, or multi-cut. We can select this vertex and this edge and just create a cut. And that way we've got some triangles to work with, so we don't have to add in a bunch of extra geometry. So we'll go back into quad draw, and now we can put a quad right there. This is a 5-sided poly. This is you definitely don't want these. I mean, it didn't used to be a big problem. It's mostly if your mesh is going to animate that you want to avoid those. I want to make sure that we get this tooth. There's still a bit of it right here that we would like to kind of like the silhouette of. Anyways, let's just keep going here.
Deep Chrome has a question. Will we see more art-oriented streams like this one down the road? I remember a Kickstarter stretch goal that had a live stream by Rob Waters, which I've been wondering about for a while. I'll understand if it isn't feasible, though.
Yeah, we just talked to Rob about that. He said that he was still down for it. So yeah, I mean, I would love to do it. I would love to see his process, honestly. He's been doing so much work for us lately, and we don't really get to see the process. So that would be really fun. Yeah, speaking of those stretch goals, that's something that we're gonna address in our next Kickstarter update. And this is kind of confusing here. This isn't really acting very well either. It's just kind of jerky. But yeah, there will be more of these types of streams. So we just added in a little more geometry there to capture that gap. Yeah, it looks a lot nicer now. Should probably try to round this out too. It's not ideal. Alright, anyways, we should probably try to move a little bit quicker here. It's easy to kind of get lost in the details or lost in the weeds sometimes with this stuff. You want to just keep noodling with it, and you never finish.
Dart's asking about if Chris has gone to the landlord to fix the internet. I actually don't know. I have to check again.
Good question. We haven't heard from Chris in a fortnight. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. But we will have Jonathan Holmes streaming twice this month. I'll be getting him set up soon.
Alright. So I guess that's pretty good for the front. So we'll build the lip here, and then we'll just try to connect it and use as few polys as possible.
I wish it was easy to order food without having to see the person that delivers it.
Are you feeling that
I don't-
antisocial?
Yeah, well, I just don't want to get, like, ready. I just want to be lazy. I don't want to, like, see any people.
you don't have to get ready to answer the door for food. I mean, the whole point of takeout is to be as lazy as possible, right?
Yeah, but the interaction's always awkward in my heart. I always feel weird. Here's a question. When will we get to see the modern version look of the hacker so we can see what he fully looks like?
Good question. I mean, I can only assume at this point that that would be probably like promotional art. Since you're not gonna see yourself in the game.
What about cutscenes then? Because we've talked about that before.
Yeah, I guess you do see him in cutscenes or I don't know, we haven't explored that yet. We've mostly just been focusing on the enemies and the environments and that type of thing, but we haven't focused on the player character yet. Big old polys. Come on. Sometimes it's like, I feel like the computer gets a little confused. It's like, I don't know what you're trying to do here, and I want to bridge this and this, and it's not having it. So we might have to go in there and just manually do it like that. This is the append polygon tool. I can make a cut down here. I can target weld. The roof of the mouth. Like that. Nice. This is a mess right here. Great. That's what I wanted.
Will the hacker still have a ponytail is what I'm wondering.
I think that's like the most important thing.
Just a rockin' ponytail.
So that looks pretty good. Again, it's gonna be like this small. You'll never see this, but everybody watching this stream, when they play the game, they'll be like,
They'll know.
Those are some good teeth. I'm gonna do one more little cut here. It's like silly, but I want that little jagged edge. To show. So like right here you can see the, right there, that's what I wanted, right there. It's worth the polys.
Where?
Bring that guy out a little bit. There we go. Got his teeth. Alright, and since this has to come down, let's just out a little bit more.
Nope Penguin in chat says, what am I watching? And I just want to say, it looks like you're just building dentures.
Our game characters are getting a little old and they're having trouble eating. So yeah, let's see. Almost done.
Oh, Pappy Biscuits is here.
Happy biscuits.
I just like saying that name.
Is that a reference to "O Brother Where Art Thou"? Pappy O'Daniel
That's a good,
and his flower.
that's a good question.
His flower hour. Remember, use cool, clean water and Pappy O'Daniel's white flour.
Happy Biscuit says, nah, it's just some nonsense I made up.
We're gonna clean this up a little bit. I've actually just decided to add an edge loop in there, and you know what? I'm just treating myself here. Just using some extra polygons here and there. Why not? I've earned it.
You've earned it.
I want these teeth to look good. They're gonna look good. Again, I'm probably gonna like show this to Chris and he's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, what were you thinking when you made this? You're like, you know what?
You're just passionate about teeth.
I just wanted him to have nice teeth, man. Like, come on. Alright, so that is, the top part is done. Let's bring in the bottom part. So we will not make this live again. I'm gonna delete that, and then I'm gonna bring in this. I am going to duplicate it again, hide, and then oh yeah, you guys can't even see the marking menu here. That's super weird. So what I'm doing right now is I'm selecting between the different selection modes. You can select edges, vertices, or faces in 3D when you're 3D modeling. Right now I'm going to select the faces that I want to delete, which is basically going to be everything here. Just want to make sure, probably keep that. Yeah, just delete. And then we've got this guy. We'll hide that and just make sure that we get all these random polys that are just kind of floating around. Just clean it up. I'm going to assign that existing material because that helped out a lot. Then we get the bottom teeth. This should be a lot quicker. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this hidden, and then when I've got the bottom teeth, I'll just kind of fuse them together. So let's hide this. Make this live, and then we will re-topologize these guys.
Oh, Pappy Biscuit subscribed.
Ooh, thank you, Pappy.
Ooh.
Let's just get crazy here. Let's just add in all the points. Go like this. Oh, Good job. Good job, computer.
Thanks, computer.
Yeah, that's really what I should be saying, huh? Like, thank you for making my whole life possible.
What would we do without computer?
Oh, that reminds me. I'm going back to Aeon Flux.
Oh.
Yeah. There is an animatrix short that was directed by Peter Chung, who's the creator of.
Which one did he do?
He did the one where they, I think they go and they capture like a little creature, and then they bring it back to their little. Oh, Pappy Biscuits is an Aeon Flux fan.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about, when they're in the Matrix and they're trying to show the AI what it is to be like one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know which one.
I think.
The art style is very similar, so I can imagine.
Yeah, the Animatrix is so cool.
I really liked it.
Did you have a favorite short?
Yeah, it's the one where it's like a teenage girl and a whole bunch of kids exploring that one area that the Matrix is kind of like broken in, and so they can kind of break the law of physics.
Yeah.
I really liked the art of that one too.
That one's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking for her cat.
Yeah.
And her cat.
Cat.
Of course, that's why. Yeah. Why wouldn't you like that one? I loved the Second Renaissance. It was basically just like a history.
Oh yeah, that one.
Of how humanity got there, and then they like of the creation of 001 or 01. And where man, I love that the final scene where there's the robot and he's like in front of the UN or something, like the last remaining government.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, what does he say? He says something
It's
really cool.
been years since I've watched Animatrix, like a very long time. I know one of the streaming services must have it right now, but I had the box set that came with the trilogy and the Animatrix.
Oh yeah. Well, I was looking for it not too long ago, and the crappy part is you can't get the Animatrix by itself anymore. I think it's really hard to get, and you
I'm not surprised.
have to buy the whole all 4 Matrix movies together, which yeah.
Maybe Movie Club should just be watch all of the Animatrix shorts.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because that would bring up about a lot of discussion. Because there's, so many different ones,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, within the Matrix world, and I really love the Matrix, so that would be my vote.
Very System Shock too, as well.
Yeah.
Very, artificial intelligence gone.
Thematic.
Yeah, thematic.
Also, there's a question that says, how do you handle archiving your game resources?
Doing what? Archiving?
The question said, yeah, archiving your game resources. How do?
We use GitLab, which is just it's a source control thing online, where we rent out some space on on a cloud, and then we all use SVN, or like a source control program, to access files on the cloud. And then whenever anyone makes a change, it updates our SVN, and then we can pull from the cloud to update all the files on our computer. It can get kind of complicated, but it's what works best. It's what big companies use. They usually just have like a local SVN or a local solution on servers that are stored at the studio, so that they can manage it from there. But because we're all remote, we have to use a service like this, which is, doesn't really cause any issues, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm actually gonna make a little bit of a cut right here. So we can add in a little bit of detail. Yeah, I didn't need to do that. I feel like what's really crazy too is like if there ever was a sentient AI that did exactly like what 01 did, or oops, what happened to all that? What? There it is. Like in the Matrix, where all of a sudden our artificial intelligence was demanding like equal rights and stuff. I think that we would behave in the exact same way as the humans did in the Matrix. We'd be like, oh shit, let's destroy it.
I feel like the majority of people would, and then just like that, there would also be people that were activists as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that you don't really get to see in the Animatrix. It's like I'm sure that there was a large group of people that were like, just, leave it alone. Like, it's not hurting anybody, and it's making life better for humans. So, just chill, humanity. Jesus.
Just chill. Like, oh my god. Sorry.
Hadn't anyone from that timeline seen Terminator? Or maybe that's why they were all mad.
What timeline are we in now?
Oof, I don't even want to.
We're in the cyberpunk timeline, to be honest.
We're in that
the route we're going.
Yeah, well, it's like this kind of weird dystopia that we all live in, but people that are in like the middle class or higher, they just don't even know what it's like out there for real. How bad it is.
I don't want to get too deep onto this on stream, but I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting time in the history of humanity, that's for sure. So we can have a triangle in here, that's okay. I mean, we could just be nice and just go like this and just give that little triangle a chance at life and turn it into a quad. Really don't need to do that, but I'm feeling generous.
Feeling generous, eh?
Alright, so I'm gonna build out the back of the mouth here. And then we are gonna bring in that top piece that I was working on, and we will kind of weld them together.
I'm looking at my last stream video. I haven't put it live on YouTube yet, but it's pending. And I was specifically looking at it because I brought my fat cat Apollo on stream for the first time. And he just looks dead into the camera at one point, like he knows. And I can't stop looking at him.
Alright. Let's bring in Polysurface 1. Alright. Oh boy. Okay. So we can see where they need to be connected. So this is going to be the tricky part. Ooh. Okay. Is just going in here. What we'll do is we'll combine these pieces. And then we'll come up with a solution to stick them together. Alright. So let's do that first thing first. Combine. Alright, so now when I select it, I'll select both. So this is one object, but they are not contiguous. And that means that they are not really connected. You can see here. So...
now that I'm on my second cup of wine, if I'm on asking you and chat if you have any like cybernetic enhancement, like reference like Shadowrun or something, what kind of cybernetic enhancement would you want? You can only have one though.
That's a really good question. I'm gonna think about that.
Okay, good. Think about it. I'm gonna read chat to see what they say. Darth says cyber wisdom. That is not. I just no. What?
I like his answer though. I'm not gonna lie. Great answer. Cyber wisdom.
I think my cat's at the door.
Is he knocking?
Oh, he is. I'm letting in the big boy. All right. Let's look at chat. All right. Bukura, I'm not sure how to say that name, says maybe a cloak like in Deus Ex. Happy Biscuit says one that kept all fingernails and toenails at the perfect length at all times.
You know, in the whole realm of like consumer cybernetics, that would be a bestseller.
It would probably, everyone would have it. You wouldn't really think about it, and you wouldn't, like, people would be so spoiled because everyone would have that one. So if that was your only one, that'd be pretty sad because they're like, oh, I got that when I was like 2 years old. Get something new.
Well, you know, that like whenever I have to like cut my nails, the first thing that goes into my head is like, I wish that I could have my body prioritize different things. Like, instead of wasting all these resources, like, you know, growing fingernails, like, how about, you know, you burn a little bit more fat off my belly, or maybe like, you know, where I'm starting to like thin a little bit, like, why don't we get some of that up here, you know? Or no. I mean, you could go in a lot of places with that.
I was just thinking, I almost, sometimes I'm glad that I have to press a button for push to speak, or else I would just start saying random things that I wish, I'm glad I don't say.
Like me?
One of my Shadowrun characters that I played the most of, I got so many cybernetic enhancements, but the most useless one was cyber elf ears. Just so I could look like an elf.
Cyber. Well, that would be another really popular one, I think, if it was commercially
Body mod.
available. Yeah, I think a lot of people would get that.
I mean, for sure, people already get surgery right now to make their ears look like elf ears. Me, I just have 2 different ones I can glue to my head. Darth mentioned an auto makeup mod. That would be amazing because I get so lazy and tired when I'm doing my makeup that I get distracted and I take lots of breaks in between getting ready. And I just sit around watching like TV or playing games, and then it takes me like triple the amount of time to get ready.
Oh, is that why it always takes women so long to get ready? Like, I'm not really gonna do this thing. I'm just gonna.
I have my phone next to me and I'll pull up videos on YouTube or I'll put on a podcast and then like I'll start Googling things based off what I'm hearing in the podcast.
Oh, there
like,
it is.
Whoops.
You've just betrayed your own kind.
Oh, sorry. We'll have a world meeting later with all women and we'll discuss. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like in Rick and Morty where they had the tribunal and like that one alien got punished for her bangs being just off.
Oh yeah. I'm here if you need to talk. All right. Well, this is pretty much. I'd say this is pretty much done. Normally it wouldn't take me this long to do something like this, but I had to go and change everything. So
Happy Biscuits brought up altered carbon styled shells and stacks. That would be pretty neat, but I didn't like altered carbon as a whole now that I'm thinking about it. I kept yelling at the TV while I was watching that one.
Oh, altered carbon. Yeah, you know, I felt like it had a lot of potential, and it just kind of lost my interest.
Squandered.
Yeah.
Squandered potential. I did watch it all. I didn't give it up, but ugh.
All right, so. Okay. Why can't I select what I want?
I'm sure you're causing all kinds of trouble for lots of different people.
All right. Well, the vert count on this new piece that I made is 257, and the old piece was 9,226.
Oh.
So that's pretty good. Hide this. All right. So now that this is done, we'll probably want to unwrap it.
Here's a question from Gortez in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Though I haven't seen this. They're saying, as you guys were talking about Terminator movies, did you see the Source Filmmaker versions of Terminator? It's amazing and hilarious. I've never seen it. I haven't seen a whole lot of Source Filmmaker stuff, actually.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm thinking, because a lot of people that I know that were super into Source Filmmaker are actually younger than me. Maybe potentially like my little brother would have watched that. I guess I missed the train on that one.
Something crazy just happened. Okay, great. I'm trying to soften the normals here. I just realized that none of the menus are actually showing up in the stream either, which is weird. Here we go. We get some tea. So just to warn everybody, I have not unwrapped in Maya in a really long time. So we'll just see how it goes. Unwrapping means basically I'm gonna create the UV map for these teeth, and let me just show you what that is now. So this is what it looks like, and this is a total mess. We want to essentially flatten this 3D object into a 2D space so that we can map textures to it. And I know that there are some really great tools here in Maya on how to do it, and I haven't used them in a really long time, so let's just see if we can figure this out together. Alright. So, you know what, I just realized that I don't think that UV editor showed up in stream. Nope, it did not.
Well, do you need a separate source for that?
Yeah. Yeah, I might as well since I'm going to be doing a lot of work in it. So let me add that in. Window capture. Editor. Maya UV editor. Okay, there we go. So there's the UV editor. I'm wondering if I minimize this. No, it's not gonna go away. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of weird. But let's try it anyways. Yeah, so yeah, I apologize. This is a Streamlabs thing, not a Maya thing. Now if I make this bigger, oh yeah, it's gonna weird. Okay, so these are the UVs for the teeth, and it is a total mess. So what I'm gonna do is create some new ones. And I think the first thing I'll do is create maybe a cylindrical map. This is so weird trying to do it like this. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of success we're gonna have doing it like this, but let's find out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna select this edge and cut the UVs there so that we can flatten this, make it a little bit easier to work with. Cut UV edge. So now we've got two shells here, and then let's just see what happens when we try to unfold this. Doesn't look super bad. The same with this. And now what we might be able to do is actually reattach these edges. This doesn't look right?
Deep Chrome just pointed out that the way you're focusing in right now on camera is just your little pair of eyes peeking out from over the screen. It looks silly.
Oh.
So focused.
Alright, so this is what the bottom of the mouth looks like when it's unwrapped. It looks like something happened here. So I'm going to sew this back together. Fold. Ooh. Okay. And then probably try to sew these edges together back again where we made that cut initially. Yeah, right here. And we will move and sew. Move and sew. Kind of a mess in there. Let's see if we can fix that. There we go. Huh, that actually doesn't look half bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Alright, so... So let me save, and then, I'm gonna create a texture really quick for that, so that we can see. Actually, let me see if... Checker for... actually just gonna add a thing that I've already got. Texture map here. Find it. My computer.
You must meet again.
Yes.
Okay, one sec here.
Must meet again.
Art resources, there it is. Okay.
I told them all about you.
PUV. Let's see. Let's do 10. That's too much. So the UV map is not that great. It's a lot better than what it was, but there's still like quite a bit of stretching.
Oh, you need to move stuff to show stuff. It's blocked.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll just have to get rid of this window or just move it. Let's see if I can, like, put it here.
That just looks like denture dice. I don't know what else to call it.
I'm gonna try some stuff here. See if it works. Do I have a grab UV? So optimize. What's this gonna do? Nothing. Pin UV, smear UV. Yeah, I haven't unfold. Oh, that should not have happened. Look at that. It's probably going to take me some time before this is, like, acceptable.
I like what Darth just said, because they're still talking about the denture dice.
Yeah.
He says geriatrics and dragons.
So this is looking a little bit better. Where is that? I mean, it is the teeth as well, so it's like you're really not gonna see like the back of the gums here. Like you're never gonna see this. So, I mean, we could do a test bake at this point, I think. That might be fun. Let's see, let's do that. So I am going to save the scene.
You have a question. How can you tell if a UV map is good?
It's basically gonna come down to like how much space, like how much texture space you're using and like how efficiently you're using it. So right now, like if I were to just texture this as is, like with the UV map, this would be a really bad UV map because there's all this negative space, there's all this area where you're not using any available, I guess, like the memory. So if you were going to use this as a texture map, you'd want to at least have it fill up as much of this box, which is called 0 to 1 space, as possible. And if you weren't going to see seams in this object, like where the texture is going to be cut because the UVs aren't together, you could even cut this in half and reorient it a little bit. Let me see. Optimize that. What did that do? It looks like it kind of made it all even. Like this. Again, you're never gonna see this. Oh, you know what movie I saw? I'm not sure if I already brought this up, but we watched Coco.
Oh, you watch Coco?
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I like it.
I love
They added
it.
it to Netflix.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know that after I just bought it. So.
My friend lent it to me, and after she lent it to me and I returned it to her, I was like, oh, they added it to Netflix.
Alright. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to save the scene, and then I'm going to export this. I'm gonna delete history. I'm gonna name it humanoid mutant teeth low. Save it again, why not? And then yeah, I'm gonna export this as an OBJ. Human mutant OBJ. Actually, just gonna save over this. Why not? And then let's open a scene. Characters, humanoid mutant, OBJ. Nope, I messed up. Maya. MLT. Why is it saving it as that format? That's weird. Anyways. Okay, so here's the mutant in Maya. And as you can see in his texture sheet, it's nicely packed. Everything is using the same amount of space, so that, for instance, if you were to take the head here and you were to make it bigger and it still fit in here without overlapping and everything else was the same size, then there would be more texture space given to the head, and so the details and everything would be a lot sharper on his face than everywhere else, and that would just look kind of weird. Sometimes that's a good thing, like if you have like a main character and you see their face a lot more close up than the rest of their body, then you want to give their face more texture resolution. So when I was doing this, I was in the middle of redoing the back of his mouth here. So what I'm gonna do is import those teeth. So we'll go to OBJ and we'll bring in the low teeth, and those because I exported them from Zbrush in the exact same space, they're just gonna kind of appear, or they're gonna load in where they need to be inside of his mouth. So there they are. And so you can see that his teeth are currently using like the entire texture sheet here. So we'll select one UV coordinate, and then we'll shrink it down so that we can fit it somewhere on this sheet. I think we'll put it like right here. Really doesn't need that much space. We'll put it right there. I think this is the inside of his mouth. Yeah. So let's finish modeling the inside of his teeth there. I'm gonna harden these normals so it looks the same, or just there we go. And then I'm going to just hide his teeth. And close that hole in the back of his mouth. So to do that, I'll select the edges. I think I'll just close it like that and then move it back. And we'll just merge all these vertices together. Make sure nothing in the back is selected. Push it down, mesh tool, let's see, edit mesh, merge the center. Just push that back. Again, you're not even going to see that. But you'll notice that there's some UVs now that are not having fun. So let's see if I can probably re-UV this. Oh, jeez. The back of his mouth. Could probably connect these pieces, which are like the inside of his lips. Oops. Oh, jeez. Okay. So it looks like probably need to move this back a little bit further, or at least create some more geometry to create like a hole in his mouth that'll go back so that we can see. It's kind of obscuring a lot of the stuff that the teeth are creating, like the roof of the mouth. Let's see if we can just.
They said give him a uvula in the back of his throat.
This is kind of what we want. Something more like that. The heck? that for now. So we'll just do this as a test. We still got to do his eyes and stuff as well, but they're just spheres that go in there, so like they don't need to be normal mapped or anything like that.
I want to say sorry, Darth. I missed your question about the UV in the eyes. My bad. Because I read the uvula thing. I can't even say words. He was asking a question, and I read his other one before it, the one he asked before it.
Oh. Oh boy, what did I just do? Oh shit, I just broke it. Let's see. Of course, it's gonna bring it way out here. Ooh, what was that?
Iron Dendrite gave us another 100 bits.
Oh, thank you.
I like the magical image for it.
Okay, so yeah, there's like the back of the mouth. Could shrink this down. This could be pretty
This
small.
is a pretty broad question, but someone just asked, what's going on with System Shock?
What's going on with you? We're making the game live on the internet.
Live here on TV.
Yeah, let's just do a test bake if we can, cause like, why isn't it letting me name these things what I want? Okay, so I'm gonna export these both. Export selection. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna export the high poly from Zbrush. So let me hide this. Let me hide the UV editor. We will bring the teeth up to their highest res and export them. Teeth. Teeth high. I'll take a second. And then we will select our buddy the mutant here, crank up his subdivision levels. Woohoo. Export him.
Hoo hoo hoo.
Teeth high. This might take a second. And then we're going to use a tool called Marmoset. Which is fun. Let me create the source sphere for it. Marmoset. Add new source. Where is it? So it is not picking it up. It's not. I might actually have to just restart it so that the program knows. I got double mutants all the way.
Double mutants all the way.
Marmoset. There we go. Done. It's just a black square right now for some reason. Oh, I opened Marmoset Viewer. My bad. That was dumb. Whoops. This thing is still saving out the mutant here. And I don't know why it's taking so long.
Is it because of, you know, all the other programs open, or?
It might be because it's such a large file. Usually it doesn't take this much time, but it's like almost 10 million polygons, so. So let me try this again. Add source. Add new source. Marmoset toolback. There it is. Look at that. It's like it's having a hard time here.
It's doing its best.
It's doing its thing, but yeah. Alright. So Zbrush finished. Let's see what happens here. I haven't used this in a long time, but let's see what happens. Let's do it. Bake group baker. The bake
GGD is wondering, how much space do the high poly models take?
A couple hundred megabytes. So let me just load up some these models here. Import model, and we're gonna do mutant high. Bring him in. Hopefully this doesn't crash Marmoset.
It'll be a mystery.
Yeah, crash the marmot. Okay, there he is. So we're gonna put him in the high bake group. We will import in our the teeth, and put him in the high thing again, and then we'll import our low models. Do the mutant low, and oh, actually we can do this. Ooh, yeah, nice. So you can see the models are just kind of sitting on top of each other, which is what we want. So we'll select the baker. Let us configure the maps. Let's just do a normal map. We will do a ambient occlusion map for now. Let's just do that, just because we're just gonna do a test here.
Here's another question. How large do you anticipate the PC game to be in bytes? I don't know if you can yet or not.
To be in bytes?
Yeah.
There's 1,000 bytes in a megabyte, right? And 1,000 megabytes in a gigabyte. I'd have to do the math. Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
don't
really,
math.
really hard to tell at this point. So we'll output the PSD just as a test. Oh, we're gonna turn on the texture resolution to 1024 because again, this is just a test. 1024 by 1024. Let's bake, see what happens. Oh, bake path doesn't exist. Okay, well we gotta create one. Bake, okay. Save. We'll call this mutant test. Save. Okay, it's gonna do its thing. So this is the fun part where we get to wait. We might have a little bit of a... Ooh. Okay. What happened? Let's see. Hide the... So he's all faceted. I probably should have smoothed that out before we saved him out. Let me see. Okay, one sec. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. Let's just delete the low group. And yeah, I'm just gonna export these real quick. Teeth low. Okay. Alright.
My Discord keeps like disconnecting. I don't know why that's happening. What the heck? Oh, there he is. Whoa, okay. Why is he all blown up like that? What did I do? Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna try this over again. Hi. We're just gonna go with it. So why not?
Okay. Let's try this one more time. So you can set up these groups in Marmoset so that it knows what to bake. So for instance, his teeth are inside of his mouth right now. And because we're baking the teeth as a separate object and the head as a separate object, the normals are they're gonna sample each other, if that makes sense. So the teeth are the rays that go out to sample the normals are gonna like catch the inside of the mouth of this main model, and it's gonna create some artifacts that we really don't want. So there's ways to fix that, but we're just gonna do a test. So I want to say that it baked, but in order to see the normal map, we're gonna need to change some of these settings here. Hi, Cairo. Hi. Is it time to play? No, not for real. Oh.
Poor doggo.
Poor pup. Now where did the Fog Baker? Where did his textures go? Like it should have at least picked up his ambient occlusion. Oh, so for whatever reason, come on, why didn't it, yeah, there we go. Alright. So it's a 1024 by 1024.
Just a chrome boy.
Yeah, the texture is like, it's a little lower resolution, so there's not like a lot of detail. But, now why isn't this showing up? The albedo map should be, I mean, I think it is. Let me... but essentially, I mean, this is what we want, right? So you can see this is the low poly. This is the low poly mesh. And it's got the normal map on it, which is capturing all that really nice detail from the high res. And his teeth came out okay too. I mean, they're going to be really low res again because they take up a really small portion of the texture map. But yeah, pretty awesome. He's a blingy boy. He's like
Blingy boy.
Chrome Mutant. I'm a little confused as to why the AO map isn't showing up. But yeah, this is pretty much it. This is, we went from retopologizing a high-res mesh to unwrapping it to baking it. So this is pretty much the essentials of game art. So yeah, I mean we accomplished a
Woo.
lot today.
And it was just barely over 2 hours, so pretty good, pretty good.
Pretty good. I am so confused. Why isn't this showing up? Why? Let's try it again. No? So the ambient occlusion map, what that does is it's essentially like a color map that just captures the shadows of everything. So like everywhere there's like a cavity on the mutant, it would pick up like a little bit of a darkness. So I mean there's got to be another way to load this in. Maybe reload it. Remove it. Let's try loading it up again. I don't know. It's not loading, but at least the normal map came in. That was the important thing. So we can check that out and enjoy it. We can change the sky here too, which is kind of cool.
Someone's asking, normally how long would this take?
Like a full character?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what they meant, but that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, like if you were to go from start to finish from like concept and you were doing this character, I mean if you had like a good schedule and you weren't crunching, probably like 2 weeks probably to do the whole thing from start to finish. And that would include texturing, of course. So I think what I'll do for next week is I'll probably go back in, I'll bake out all the maps for this guy, I'll get his eyes in there, and then we will hop into Substance Painter and we'll texture him, yeah, we'll do something really gross. And maybe we could throw him in the engine and throw him into the level and just see how the lighting looks with him, with just a basic shader on him. But yeah, I'm actually really pleased with this. He's coming out really well. He'll be actually, with the style that we're going for, this is probably going to be the resolution that he'll be at. But he'll look really good when he's got his, his real texture on. And again, I don't know why this AO isn't coming up.
I guess, I mean, we can figure it out for future streams why certain things don't show up.
Yeah, let me see what happens if I try to load it up in this slot here. Ambient occlusion effect. Here we go. Doesn't really seem to be changing anything. Well, I've got Photoshop open here. Let me open it really quick and just save it out as a targa. Maybe that'll fix it. I don't see why I would, but let's try it. Test AO. I don't think it made any difference.
Aw.
Well, shucks. Let's see if we switch it to vertex color. Is that gonna do anything? No. Dota color. There's actually like a whole
Dota color.
There's a whole Dota thing in here. For doing Dota sets. Yeah, this is so weird. It's just not working. Well, anyways. So let's go back to this. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was really fun. I know it was kind of tedious to watch somebody retopologize teeth. But every little thing matters. I hope everybody learned something. I hope that this inspires you to become game artists and to fight the good fight. Maybe not.
Fight, fight, fight.
But it is fun. It can be kind of relaxing sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if there's any last
They
questions.
left the teeth.
Yeah, the teeth. Maybe we should just put the teeth in the Kickstarter update. Just like we made
just
teeth.
the teeth, nothing else.
We made teeth. Oh man, the hair is such a mess. It just kind of dried.
My hair's still wet too.
Yeah, but they can't see you.
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any last questions?
Going once, going twice.
Should we give away a
going
key?
3 times because of the delay. Yeah, we can do keys.
Wanna give away a key?
Yeah. Let me load up the giveaway bot.
Okay.
Dart's asking, when will guns be modeled?
We have all the proxies done for the guns, and so those are just facsimiles of the guns in the game, so they look like they did in the original, but they don't have any textures on them, and we're just using those to test. So once we finish testing and we've got the combat feeling really good, then we'll do the guns, the weapons. What key should we give away?
Let's do... What's a key that we haven't given away before? Because we've done TLC, we've done both Trox and System Shocks.
We haven't done Noctropolis.
You could do that one.
That might be a fun one if you want to stream. It's very much like I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. If you want to play another game like that.
Yeah, I could do that. That'd be fun.
But Noctropolis is really cool because it was one of the first titles that we did where we actually had the full source code to work off of, and it was originally all written in assembly, which is like by today's standards, it's like an ancient coding format or coding language. And one of our guys, James Haley, is a wizard, and he managed to port the whole thing to 64-bit. It's totally portable. It's basically a totally updated game from this really old programming language. It was really impressive what he did. So, yeah, let's give away a copy of that.
Awesome. People are already entering.
Okay, good. Here's the key.
Awesome. I will pick a winner. Drum roll, please. All right. The winner is Red Least. All right. I will send over the code. All right, I sent the code over to Red Least, so you should have it now.
I might crash the stream here. I'm gonna. Oh man, it might not
Uh-oh.
even work.
Should
I'm
we
gonna.
say bye before you try crashing it?
No, I'm gonna cancel that. I'm gonna share something. It's a rough draft of a trailer. But I'm feeling spicy, so let's show it.
Uh-oh, spicy boy.
Video. Let's do. Let's see here. Oh shit! Is this even gonna work? It's gonna make noise. Okay. Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Let's show it. Let's show it, and then we'll end the stream.
All right.
Window capture. I gotta add a new source again. Okay, done. Alright, let's... Alright, let's show it.
All right.
Is it working?
Yeah, I mean, there's a delay for one moment. Let's see. I don't see anything yet.
No, is it not working? It's probably not even working. It's all black. Oh man. Why isn't it working?
I don't know. You only get audio.
Only audio. It's all black.
Audio
It's all
preview.
black. Okay, let me try again. That was a fail. Media source? Like there's so many to choose from. MP4, blah blah blah, add video. Well, maybe this will work. I'm sorry, everybody. Thanks, Obama. Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to show anything, or is it just the audio then?
I think I can do it. Hold on.
Okay.
Where is it? Please work. Please work.
Okay, they could just put it together later. Oh,
Let me turn it. Why wouldn't it do? Why is this not working? Why? Oh my. Yeah, there's no option to. Could you actually?
can only have one or the other.
Could they? Okay, so let me ask stream this. Could you hear it? Was there audio playing for you guys? Because I didn't hear it on my end when it started.
I heard music, but I couldn't tell if it was coming from the stream or from the headset.
Oh, they all think it's Descent. It's not Descent. I'm waiting for the. Yes, both times. Oh, so they could hear it. What? Why can't I hear it?
I don't know. All right. I think it's working.
couldn't hear it, but I'm glad that it worked. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so that's just a rough draft, but we'll be making the official announcement pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chat saying need PC port, but that's not saying that we're not doing PC. That was just a different trailer.
Yeah. It's going to be for PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope nobody gets mad that I showed
All
that.
right.
I was just so excited that we just got that in. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. We've been having so
We're
much
not really
fun.
supposed to talk too much about it.
Yeah.
But it coming.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in again. This was really fun, as usual. Next week we'll do some texturing, and we'll bring this mutant to life. The other thing is, again, if anybody is kind of in the Pacific Northwest, there is going to be a Evergreen High School game design showcase tomorrow at the Furstenberg Community Center, and I'm going to be there as a judge and as a speaker. So if anyone's there, come say hi. It'd be awesome to meet you. If not, have an incredible weekend, and yeah, until next time.
Bye.